Look how shabby that looks.
Yeah.
So, you know, researching this place, it was alarming.
The longest Wikipedia article I've ever read
Me too.
for an institution of this size.
Oh my god. Look, and it still even looks pretty run down.
Hear any good stories lately? Oh, I got a good one. And this one really happened. I swear.
The history of Grandview Cemetery is interesting not because of who is buried here, but because of who isn't buried here.
The historic cemetery located in Glendale, California was established in 1884 as Glendale Cemetery, but changed its name to Grandview Memorial Park in 1919.
100 years later, the cemetery became the focus of a disturbing scandal. This is Dead in Hollywood. Let's go behind the sign.
No, but it looks cool in there. It looks very cool in there.
It's locked.
Yeah. Chandelier and stuff.
Wow, look at that.
Doesn't it look cool?
Yeah.
The one nice place in the cemetery we can't get into.
From 1930-ish to 1990, the Hepburn family owned the 25-acre cemetery. David Hepburn was a highly respected cemetery operator and was the president of the Cemetery Association of America. If you can believe this, under the Hepburns, I don't know if this was common practice or not, but the cemetery scattered the ashes of the dead in its various memorial gardens and terraces. They had to stop this practice in the late 70s after a buildup became too noticeable. In 1991, the Hepburn sold the cemetery to Grandview Partners. Marsha Lee Howard, remember that name, a veteran cemetery industry professional, was hired as the new superintendent. She employed her brother, Tom Trimble, as a groundskeeper. Around 1998, people living near the cemetery complained about smoke and odors emanating from the burial grounds crematory.
I mean, this is one of the sadder cemeteries that I've been to. You know, I was reading and they were talking about how the investigators found ashes spilling out onto the floor of the mausoleum next to the dumpster, which I wonder where that's located.
There it goes.
You think they're cremating somebody right now?
No, they lit a nice toasty fire on a cold... Yeah, David, it's a crematory.
I guess I was expecting black smoke.
Me too, so maybe they're cleaning it out or something.
Yeah, who's the smart one now?
Because I've been at cemeteries where the thing was going and it was black.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen that.
I've seen it many times, even at a pet cemetery.
The crematory was not in compliance with state and federal pollution control laws and regulations, and the cemetery was fined $52,000. But this was just the beginning of their problems.
Get a shot of this, Louie.
What?
Go in. It's like the gurney right there.
Oh, wow.
I mean, either they're cleaning it or they're...
Sounds like something's running.
Yeah.
Sounds like a furnace.
I think my camera overheated.
A year after the $52,000 fine, Grandview sold the cemetery to Howard and her silent minority partner, Moshe Goldsman. And according to Howard's brother, whom she had hired as the cemetery's groundskeeper, there were major problems with the cemetery long before Howard purchased the hallowed grounds. In 1999, Howard was fined another $52,000, this time for failing to keep proper records.
So these mausoleums were rat infested, and there was so much feces in them that visitors couldn't come and visit their loved ones. Pretty gross. Still seems pretty infested.
Howard suffered from type 1 diabetes and was left hospitalized for long periods of time. This is allegedly why the management of the cemetery declined significantly, even though her brother was the groundskeeper. Things were about to get very dark at Grandview Cemetery. It's almost unimaginable, and it's definitely unconscionable.
Like, I've never seen, like, what is this? It's almost like a time capsule that they've, like...
Oh, these are to put plants in,
Oh.
the flowers in.
Oh, well,
But they've been. There's probably remains in this.
yeah.
But no, I'll save it for the thing. Why couldn't they have just buried the remains?
It's so strange.
Like, why'd they have to store them in the mausoleum?
What do you think happened? I mean, the woman didn't care?
No, I think what happened is they got filled up and the endowment was exhausted to keep the place going. So they're like, you know what, there's people here who've been dead for decades. No one's coming to visit them.
Who's gonna notice?
Who's gonna notice? Who's gonna notice that we changed this plaque or whatever?
And she borrowed $4,000 from that endowment and she never repaid it.
I'm sure the cemetery industry is rife with
Oh, absolutely.
with corruption and graft and things like that. Was that the Serbian cemetery yesterday?
Yeah, where's that?
Nice, Boyle Heights. But there's a grave dug, like 6 feet down.
Oh, wow,
And everything,
yeah.
just right. I've never seen that before in my
No,
life.
I think I saw it at Hollywood Forever once.
But no like stuff around it, just
No
a hole.
stuff.
Yeah. All right, survey says ghosts fly out.
Shoo!
David, what is the likelihood that remains were kept unsorted in here?
Hi.
I get a high, this could be them on the ground. So yeah, look, 1948, 1935.
Yeah, they thought nobody was gonna
39,
notice.
Yeah. Oof.
There already is a casket in the crypt, that note says.
So sometimes what happens at these, in these mausoleums is an internment will go in and then they'll never make the plaque.
Right.
Because there's, you know, oh, should we call him Willie or Will? Or, you know, there's disagreement with the family and the time goes by and this it never gets done. So these could theoretically be filled and then the salesman goes, look, there's really a body in there. Look, it's good to go. Let's sell you this one.
Huh?
Another thing, I'm gonna try to find an example of this.
I mean, it looks as though this place has been flooded recently.
We did get a lot of rain. Came in right through here. Oh, we gotta come here when it rains.
Oh my God, yes. I mean, this is not what I was expecting. Look, it looks like this.
Look at the spider. You know what though? This place is haunted, but I don't get a scary vibe.
No, I get a sad vibe.
These people got scammed.
Yeah.
These people all got scammed. You and your families got scammed. And we're here to hold some people accountable.
Look at the stained glass. Look, it's buckling.
Yeah, from the heat maybe?
Maybe.
Or it just
I've never seen a stained
I know
glass
they
like
have to
that.
repair stained glass periodically. This must be why.
Look up there too. Look at that. Okay, look at those two different squares.
Oh man. These pews, like, not even. So there's one person who passed in 2000, but I'm trying to see if there's anything else.
Yeah, who
1906. 1906.
Wow. Like, who
And look,
comes?
this guy probably didn't have a family. It's just his son.
Right.
Doesn't say father, or, you know.
Who comes to the cemetery to, like, now and says, I want to be buried here? Or I want to bury my loved one here?
Nowadays?
Look, what if this was your grave?
2001. When was this scandal? Mid-2000s?
2005.
Okay.
Well, I mean, of course, it started before then, but the
That's what I
scandal
thought,
really
yeah.
broke open in 2005.
Had you ever heard of this?
No!
No, me neither. Ugh.
Oh! You too?
Spiderwebs, yeah.
Oh, they're all over my legs.
This person was born in 1849.
Wow. Oh. Wow. I mean, some Hollywood movie needs to be shot here because the set designer doesn't have to do anything.
No.
I mean, look at the skylight up there. It's covered in leaves and dirt. And like everything's about to that top crypt up there.
Oof.
And do you think people are buried behind these? Oh, more cobwebs and spiders. Sounds like people are buried back there.
I mean, probably.
Yeah, this place isn't haunted per se, but it is a very sad.
It's haunted, but it's not scary.
I mean, look up there.
These are just regular people who got hoodwinked by this shady cemetery.
Hey, do you think any of this, like dirt, could be leftover ashes?
Definitely. Why not? Who knows what this place?
And like, what is this? Driveway in a day installation kit.
So they're gonna redo the floor.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my, look at this.
Oh my gosh.
Well, now you're cursed.
1906 to 1977.
And who knows which
Where it goes.
Yeah.
And it's not like they probably have the records. Mildred K. Eaton.
Yeah, let's at least set it. Let's set the
Yeah, okay,
back
okay.
up. Come on.
Well, you said I was cursed, so I didn't know if I should keep
Well,
going.
no, if you do all of them,
Okay, it reverses the curse?
Yeah.
Hi, spider. I think he's dead. Oh my god, look how many!
A secret that will be carried to the grave as the horror classic is reborn. Return of the Living Dead, Part 2. Jesse will be the first to know.
In 2004, the state of California enacted legislation giving CFB authority to inspect cemeteries annually. The first annual inspection of Grandview Memorial Park occurred May 2005, and it uncovered some alarming problems.
Well, now help me get her in, grab her legs.
4,000 cremated remains were in cardboard boxes and plastic containers and in crypts that should have had full body remains.
Don't be stingy. Uncle Bert's paying for this.
Inspectors also found remains in a dumpster on the property.
Some of the remains had spilled, and the remains of several people were mixed together on the floor. I guess I'm just used to the Hollywood Forevers and the Westwood Memorial.
Those aren't run down at all.
No.
Records were in poor condition, and the records room was infested with rodents.
Investigators would later reveal that a large number of cremated remains had been buried throughout the cemetery without records kept regarding their location. They were selling and reselling plots. They would bury somebody, dig them up, and sell the plot again.
But what if two people came at the same time? I guess that's how you get caught.
That's how you get caught. But the only reason why they got caught is because neighbors filed complaints because the crematorium smelled so bad.
Oh.
Well, I mean, people are still being buried here. This guy died on Halloween 2020.
Oh.
This guy died in 2021.
And this section's a little nicer.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot nicer.
Look, 2024. I just feel bad for some, I mean, like, why is that covered in AstroTurf? I'd be furious if my family picked a picture of me looking my unhappiest. They're like, that's the happiest she ever looked.
Yeah, no, that was her. You didn't know this lady, David. No fun.
Do you think Howard, when she took over, it just became too much? Her son said it was because it was already in disarray and disrepair before she even bought it.
Probably. She got a good price on it.
CFB inspectors also found the cemetery in general disarray. Most areas were overgrown, numerous dead trees and bushes, buildings were in disrepair, groundskeeping tools, trash, caskets, and grave markers were scattered all over the property. Sadly, I don't know how much has changed since then.
Imagine though if you were one of the people who come sees your relative every weekend or whatever, and the cemetery's just closed and you can't even come in here.
Right, and I mean, they have to have the same reaction that we're having when we walked in. I guess I'm just used to the Hollywood Forevers and the Westwood Memorial.
Those aren't run down at all.
No.
I would maybe 25% of the time.
I agree. I mean, I think with the cemetery of my mom's buried, I think that gets run down from time to time.
Oof. Oh my God.
Pretty bad. But like some of this equipment like this has probably not been used in a decade.
Or more.
So like why even have it here?
Where are you gonna put it?
I don't know, but you know what, the city, well, I don't know if the city is...
Nobody cares about this.
Oh, look how pretty this is, though.
Oh, it's a feather? It's a parrot feather. Wow.
That's pretty cool.
I want that if you don't want it.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Oh, so when the investigation started, she was barred from entering the cemetery. But ultimately, she could come in during the day. And so she was living in her car outside of the gates of the cemetery. And she'd come in every day, get her diabetes medication, stuff like that, and then leave. But once investigators turned off the power to the cemetery, she had to find other places to put her diabetic medication. And ultimately, once she was let back into the cemetery, she was found dead in her house here.
Look at this bathtub. That's fucked up. It's all gutted out.
This is absolutely where she died. So she was probably parked right in one of these spots in front of the caretaker's house where she would eventually die. Ah, disturbing. How many people die in a cemetery?
You know, I bet it happens. People dying from grief?
Yeah, okay. Well, the car sure looks far.
Well, at least we're alive.
Michael Jackson used to come here and climb up in this tree and write some of his most beloved songs.
Oh, his wishing tree, yeah.
His wishing tree.
Have you seen the wishing tree?
So glad you knew what I was talking about.
There aren't a lot of celebrities buried at Grandview Memorial Park, but there are a few. Not to mention, the cemetery is less than a block away from Ray Combs' former home. Ray Combs was the host of Family Feud, and he committed suicide in 1996.
Do you think they have a map?
Maybe.
Should we go in and ask?
We could, but do we have any... What would the purpose of getting the map would be?
Find any of the celebrity graves.
They're not gonna have them celebrities listed on there.
True.
That's too tacky, even for this place that resold plots and
Like, what is
the
this, do you
ashes.
think?
These are the different ones
Oh, so these aren't people who are dead.
No. This is hole 8 on the miniature golf course.
Oh.
Notable burials include a number of science screen stars. The fairy godmother from Disney's animated Cinderella, voice actor Verna Felton.
Nothing, my dear. Oh, now you don't really mean that.
Oh, but I do.
Nonsense, child.
A few Major League Baseball players, and actor Steve Shaw. Part of the reason why I was at Grandview was to find Stephen Shaw's grave.
Knots Landing, what is that?
It was a nighttime soap opera.
Right.
Yeah, he was only 25 when he died, and he was kind of an up-and-coming star. He was on Knots Landing, Little House on the Prairie, and pretty good-looking guy, too.
Oh no, not a good-looking guy. This really is a tragedy.
Those are the tragedies.
Young and good-looking?
Young, good-looking, successful.
Oh, so sad.
Mom.
Eric! Eric! Oh, it's so good to see you!
Okay, so he was on Knots Landing. That was his big claim to fame. My favorite memory of Knots Landing is when I was a kid. My mom would let us stay up and watch it, but for some reason one night she wouldn't, and it was like a big like sweeps night, and one of the main characters, she was gonna get hit by a car and die. So I ended up climbing out of bed and sitting in the hallway. I watched the entire episode from the hallway because the couches were facing away from us.
It was a good episode?
It was a good episode. And that's the first time I ever heard You Are So Beautiful, that song. They played it when she was dying.
Can't you see? You're everything I hope for. Everything I need.
Oh, it might be one of these.
Well, you go that way, I'll go this way.
Okay. I found a oh, here it is. There it is. Beloved son, Stephen Noah Shaw.
Steve Shaw died on December 5th, 1990, in a head-on traffic collision with a truck on Silver Lake Boulevard in Los Angeles. His character was written out of Knots Landing and never referred to again. After numerous safeguards were put in place, the city of Glendale reopened Grandview Memorial Park to visitors on August 27, 2006. As you can imagine, dozens of lawsuits were filed against Grandview, and the suits were eventually consolidated into a single class action lawsuit.
Oh my god, I thought that was a statue. Oh, there's two of them! There's three of them!
We showed up at Grandview this past July thinking we'd be walking into a new and improved cemetery. Sadly, we were surprised to find that some of the same issues that plagued Grandview in the past were on full display today.
Oof.
Reach in there.
No. I mean, I could, whatever. Whatever was in there is nothing in there.
1884! Oh my god, it just fell.
Hear any good stories lately?